Hi everyone, welcome to the new video of Hey Grunche. It's a special video for me because I'm joined by my wife Daniela for the first time.
Yeah, the first video together.
Yeah, and in this video we are going to give you a tour of our house.
Yeah, and we're not only gonna show you all the corners of our house, but we also wanna tell a little bit more about why we made surgeon's decisions.
Yeah, so it's I'm already excited about it. The aspect of sharing with you guys on a more personal level, our personal space. So where we are sitting now is a living room. You guys will also have a look into it, in the video, like soon.
Yeah, but maybe it's first important to tell a little bit background story because this is not the first house where we live together. We first lived together in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and it was a small house. And we felt then, oh, we want to move bigger because that's what most people are doing.
Yeah.
So we got a really nice apartment in Dordrecht, also the Netherlands. And yeah, it was a really good apartment.
Yeah, that's right. It was like a 2-bedroom apartment on the 3rd floor, and I was working then for a company in Rotterdam. So we took that house because Rotterdam is quite expensive. If you guys come from Europe, you already know. That big cities like Rotterdam, Amsterdam, they are quite expensive to live in.
Yeah.
And Dordrecht was a city which was not too far from Rotterdam, not too far from my work. And it was close to the beach boss because we both like to be in nature.
Yeah.
And we frequently went on walks there in the Beach Bosch National Park.
But at one point still we wanted to go away there. So we sold everything, not only the house, our car, but also all our stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were a little bit, like if you already follow us on Instagram for some time, you know this story that we were a little bit done with the routine we had every day.
Yeah.
And we started traveling.
Right, yeah, we were not really happy in our day jobs, and it was nice in the time, at least if I can speak for myself, that I did it. But at one point it became really monotonous, and I had a feeling that I really have to pick up something that gives me more energy in life. And we both had a hobby that is cooking together some nice, healthy, vegan Indian meals. We eat almost every day Indian food. Daniela loves cooking as well, so I'm waiting for her first video.
Yeah, soon I think. Soon my video will come online.
Then it was time for us to move on. And the thing is that we learned quite a lot from our experience in Dordrecht. At that moment, we had our own apartment. We bought a house there, and we filled it up with some beautiful
stuff. But beautiful, but a lot of stuff.
Beautiful, expensive stuff.
Yeah, also that.
Which we took a lot of lessons from. We took a break. We went interrailing around Europe for a couple of months. Yeah. We spent half a year in India at my parents' place. We wrote a book there, The Plant-Based Indian Kitchen.
It's only in Dutch for now,
for the Dutch market, it was. Yeah. If it goes well, then we plan to also have some English copies of that.
Yeah, but when we came back from India, we started traveling again through Europe. But we were just, I think, 3 weeks on the road with a train again.
Yeah.
And we were in Italy, and slowly we started thinking together, maybe it's nice to have a stable place again, to come back to have your own place somewhere.
Yeah.
There were some doubts, but at one moment we said, okay, let's just look online for a rental place. Let's just see if there's something for us. And I remember we were in Italy at a really nice location, and we looked on the website and we saw directly a house that was, I think, made for us.
Right, and we were also lucky in that way. The credit goes to the mother of Daniela because in Netherlands there's this concept of social housing, and when she turned 18, like her mother registered her at that moment. Yeah. So, and that's also the reason we live in Veenendaal.
Yeah.
Our excuses for the noises in the background because we live behind a school, so the school is not yet over. It's like in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, going ahead with that story, we were really lucky that that she was quite high
On the list.
on the list, and we are married, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, we could get this house. But we were during in the middle of our travel, our second Interrail trip in 2 years' time, and we were in Italy, as Janila pointed out, and there this house came where it was yeah, it was literally like just a basic house with no floor. You had to paint the walls. Everything had to be done. But we came back all the way from Italy just to have a look at
In
it.
2 days' time, we traveled all the way back
Yeah,
to the
we
Netherlands.
took the train back, and we are really happy that we came back.
Yeah.
We did quite a lot of things very differently than last time. We bought
Yeah.
almost all our furniture secondhand. We did everything ourselves, like we put the floors, we put like the wallpapers, we did like the walls.
Yeah, because I think it's important to say that when we took a look at the house, we were directly in love with it, but we knew that we want to do some things differently.
Yeah.
And that is, for example, the secondhand stuff you're
Right.
talking about, but also, yeah, we have a garden. Later, we will show a little bit more, but I was especially really happy with the garden so we could grow our own vegetables. So there were a few things why we thought this is a house for us.
And one of the main reasons also that we maybe didn't talk about yet, that we took these steps, of course, there was the cost thing, because yeah, now we have our own business and we are developing it. So of course, our budget is not really big to do things, but we wouldn't have done it also differently if we did have the budget as well, because there's also the sustainable angle to it, because
Yeah.
we are since yeah. A long time we have been talking about leading sustainable lives just on a
Yeah.
personal level, practice what we preach to other people as well, because we had quite some interviews where we talk about yeah, just living a more sustainable life. And during this house tour you'll also see how we exactly do that on a personal level.
Yeah, but I think it's also important to mention that there is still also space to improve for us.
Yeah.
We're still not doing things perfectly.
Yeah.
But if we look at our previous house and we're looking right now, we already made some big changes where we are really happy with. But I think we should just start at the beginning from the house.
I think it's nice to start with the gallery.
Yeah, just where we just walk into our new home.
And we both identify ourselves as minimalists. So the moment you walk into the gallery, you see you have a certain sense of calmness, because there are 3 to 4 jackets that are hanging there. And now, of course, we are in Netherlands and we are going from summer to autumn.
Yeah, so our winter jackets still we have to place there. So we have, we just have our jackets hanging there. And we have, I think the most important part is we have a small cabinet. Do you call it that way? Small cabinet.
It's like a cabinet where you store clothes. And
yeah, because our house is not that big. I think we didn't mention it till now, but it's just 15 meters square. So it's not that big. And especially the sleeping room, there is not a lot of space. And that's fine for us. We also choose this house because it's a bit smaller. But we have the cabinet then in the hallway, where we are storing some clothes we are not wearing that often, where we store some towels
and bed sheets, like the extra ones. And directly above that, we have just a nice plant that was gifted by the grandmother of Daniela, and we have a nice
elephant.
Key. Something to store your keys, and that was also a gift from your parents.
My parents.
And above that, we just have a standard mirror to just check ourselves before we leave and when we come back.
It's the only mirror we have next to the bathroom mirror. So we were finding it nice to have one extra. And that's the hallway.
That's and we have always a couple of shoes that we keep next to our
daily shoes, mainly.
Our daily shoes that we use, because we just want to keep things simple and less complicated, and live with as less as possible. And moving ahead, like in the gallery,
Yeah, then I think you see a lot of doors in our gallery.
yeah,
The first door is a boring one. It's just some electronica things for the house. It's not that interesting. But then we go into the sleeping room. And yeah, there are a few nice things to talk about the sleeping room.
yeah, because I told you like this house tour is going to be a bit different than normal because you will also get an insight into how we are as people.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people that's true. Like you really get an insight into someone's personality if you walk through their home. And we also have certain rules. So our sleeping room is also just simple space.
Yeah.
And as it says, it's for us literally only for sleeping. So we try to not take our mobile phones into our sleeping room when we go to sleep. That we keep it on the cabinet in the gallery.
Yeah.
The sound is always on because my parents are living in India.
You
If
just
there is
never know.
something like if you get a call that you can hear it, but our rule is that we switch off the electronics in the sleeping room.
Except one thing, because we have a really nice lamp. We're
Yeah.
really happy with it.
Yeah, that's a lamp that we bought quite a long time back, like a couple of years back. It's a Philips wake-up light. I think a lot of you know about it. It's really nice to use, especially in autumn and winter days, where here in Netherlands you have very less light. You have some nice bird sounds waking up. Like it's kind of it's a nice sound to wake up to.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like I have to be honest, during the day, we also have that one of us we are working on a laptop in the bed, or we are watching something together in the evening on a laptop. But again, we try to have no mobile phones with us when we go in the sleeping room.
Yeah, we try to minimize it.
Yeah. And what else do we have in the sleeping room apart from a bed?
We have, because we don't have that much storage space, but like Amit already told you that we have a book, our own book, and we need some place to store the books. So some of the books are at my parents' place because they have a bigger house. But we also have some boxes here with the books and some envelopes to send the book in. So that is something we have. It's a small corner in the sleeping room where we keep them. And for now we just need that.
Yeah.
But if you go to the other side of our bedroom, there is a small clothing rack. It's not really a closet, it's really a clothing rack. And there you find almost all our clothes. Yeah, we make a good selection between our summer and winter clothes. Right now in the autumn, it's a bit of a mix because we have still some summer things, still some winter things because it's getting a little bit colder. And
and the advantage of having an open closet is that you know when it gets messy.
Yeah.
So if you can close a closet, like you it's like an ostrich that puts its head like in the sand and you don't know like what's going on and it gets messy quite soon. But when you're sleeping on your bed and you can see your closet every day and it's messy, then you know it's time to clean it. So it's more often than not that it's clean. And there are often not a lot of clothes, just the clothes for that particular season, as Daniela said. And the rest of the clothes, they go in the suitcase. We have like a storage room here also, we put it there.
But we try, what is good to say, we try not to have more than one suitcase per person with clothes, because that is more than enough, more than you need even.
Yeah, and for most of our clothes, we go to secondhand shops to buy them. We try to buy as less as possible. For as far as like I'm concerned, I can't remember the last time I went to H&M or a big store to buy my piece of clothes.
I find it sometimes a bit more difficult because I cannot always find my size and I have a bit more trouble with it.
I'm quite lucky in that way. I think for men they have more options at secondhand clothes. For women it's always difficult. But again, I think the mantra that people should live with is that less is more. You should always value the clothes that you're having, use them to the fullest.
And then, that's all what is in our sleeping room. It's not that much. But then we move on to the next door. We're not gonna open that.
Yeah, that's, I think everyone
Yeah,
is guilty of having a space where they put all the stuff that they don't need at
yeah,
that moment, and it's quite chaotic. And we also have that in that, like in behind this
yeah,
door, we have our solar boiler,
yeah,
because this whole house is running on solar panels, and we are also lucky with that, like that we got to choose this house. There are 5 solar panels, and but we are also lucky that there's quite some space as well. So here there is like a shoe rack
yeah.
where we have shoes for all seasons. I like to play cricket. My
Oh yeah,
cricket kit is in there,
yeah.
and some other tools.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
especially still because we did a lot in the house, like the floor, and there's still some remainings that we kept, but we still have to do away or give
yeah,
away to someone. But yeah, all those things and some tools,
yeah.
everything is in there for now.
And we are happy that it has a door, so
Yeah,
we can close it. And if it's not
yeah,
that organized, it's not a problem. It's not a really big space. So
yeah.
yeah, let's move on, like to the next door.
That is a toilet. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes I still have to think about all the doors, but
yeah.
it's a toilet.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's a bit different, because now in our home, the toilet is the third door. Usually,
yeah,
if you come to Dutch homes, the toilet is always the first one on the left or
yeah,
the right.
yeah,
And for us, it's the bedroom, because we have everything on the same floor.
yeah.
So with apartments, it's usually, yeah, it can be sometimes different. In Dordrecht also, we had it like this.
And it's not that special, like a toilet is just a toilet, but there
Yeah.
are two things we would like to mention.
Yeah, yeah, it's quite a topic that will maybe make people laugh as well,
Yeah,
because I come from India, and I realized the importance of squatting toilets, like from India, like how good it is for you also health-wise, and why you should use it. And if you don't have it, there are ways to improvise, and that's why we have this small, yeah, I would
yeah,
call
what
it,
is the English word for
it's
it?
like a small stool that you can
No.
use to elevate your legs while when
Yeah.
you have to use the toilet in the morning. I do it mostly. So
They just make sure that your knees
yeah,
are higher than your hips, and they say
yeah,
it's a good way to sit down on a toilet.
right.
Yeah,
So a thing that will catch your eyes, like when we show you the video,
yeah,
if you saw the video. And the second thing, yeah, we just have, yeah, a couple of racks, and above that we have a really nice saying, like a saying that I got gifted by one of my friends, and he's Dutch, and yeah, he has some connections to India, and it's a saying from Dalai Lama that we get quite a lot of inspiration from,
yeah,
and we really like we can really identify it. And I think a lot of you as well, that we are on this planet
yeah,
for a number of years, maybe 90 years, like if you're really lucky. And in that time, you of course want to do things that you like and that can benefit other people,
yeah,
and our beautiful planet. And I think we really like to have it, like we chose the place for it to be the toilet, because that's a moment where people
have time to think.
have time to think, and they have time to read this and really,
Yeah,
yeah, just take a moment to realize the beauty of the life that we have got, and in this time, what good we can do. So I think that's it. Like,
yeah. What else to tell about the toilet?
yeah, not a lot.
But then the bathroom comes.
Yeah, that's the
And
next
that's
door.
also not that special, but we have one thing that is a bit more special. Of course, we just have the place to take a shower and to brush our teeth. We try not to have too many things in there, just what we need. But there is one thing, like I already said, it's good to mention, and that is that we are not having, how do you say it?
A washing machine.
Washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy, the word washing
Yeah.
machine. We don't have it. And for especially for people who are living in the West, in Europe, other Western countries, it will be quite a shock, because
Yeah.
who is not having a washing machine?
In Western countries, developed
Yeah.
countries, because in India, I think like we had a quite basic washing machine for most of our lives, and I'm also used to seeing my grandmother doing the wash by her hands a lot of times as well. Even though they do have a washing machine, it's not used very frequently. And in Netherlands, I've seen that in the Western countries, it's a must to have it,
Yeah.
and it's seen as one of the basic necessities. And in India, if you see, I think also the data, I think 90% of the population wouldn't be having these kind of electronic goods.
So we are washing everything by hand.
Yeah.
We try not to get a full bucket because there's like a bucket, we put our dirty clothes in, and we try to maintain it. Like if it's like half full, I do like the washing, and it's not that much work like you think. It's of course you have to spend some time. Maybe if I have half a bucket, I'm busy for 20 minutes. But we are living in the Netherlands. And in the autumn and the winter, it's really hard to dry your clothes that way.
Yeah.
So last week we bought something, and we are really happy with it.
Yeah, it's a centrifuge, you call it in Dutch. It's a centrifugal machine, so it's like going at a few RPMs, I think 2800 RPMs, that it gets the water out of it. I'm used to it also from India. Like I remember, like then the water comes out and it goes in the drain. In Netherlands, it was also quite often, because earlier, like, washing machines were not having this function, so it was apart. Like there was a old style washing machine, of course, and then there was the centrifuge to just dry out the clothes as much as possible, get rid of the water.
Yeah, and this is also something we got secondhand, because we started to think about it, that maybe it wasn't a good option, especially because Amit always has to help me to get the water out, because my hands are small, I'm not strong enough. It was difficult. So we thought about something that, like, what can we do? We still don't want to buy a washing machine, but we need something to help. And then we thought about this solution, and we looked on the internet, and we found something directly, like in the place where we're living, and we could just buy it for just 20 euro.
Yeah, that was quite cheap as well, and it's a nice combination. Still, we do the wash with our hands. We take turns, or sometimes we do it together as well. And after that, we put it in the machine, and one by one, I think in one cycle, it's maybe a minute. That's it. And we also checked out, like, we are still it's still more sustainable than having a washing machine. Of course,
because
then
you don't use it for a long time.
That's the thing, and that you buy it secondhand as well. For the rest,
that's the bottom.
I think there's nothing special in there. Of course, like one more thing to mention, we try to take cold showers also in the winter, as far as possible. For Daniela, it's a little bit more difficult. For me, it's going much better.
And then we walk into the place we're spending the most time, the living room, where we are also now. Yeah,
the place, as I call it, where the magic happens, because it's the living/working space for us. We are also giving cooking workshops here. Also, all the furniture that you can see is secondhand, ranging from the couch to one of the tables that we use. It's an IKEA table that you can also adjust in height. One of them we already have from Dordrecht. We didn't sell it. And the second one we also bought secondhand.
The chairs we're sitting on, they're also secondhand. The cos that you see behind us, it's also secondhand.
So the bookshelf. And
the bookshelf.
It's a funny story as well. Going back to our previous home in Dordrecht, we had quite a big bookshelf, and it was also quite expensive. And after 2 years' time, we decided to sell our house, move from Dordrecht. We quit our jobs, and we put things online. And then you see that you almost never get the same money back that you paid for it in the first instance, be it your couch or your bookshelf. And we found it quite smart of the people who came to pick our stuff, because it was just a couple of years old, almost new, and they got it for less than half the price.
Maybe 1/3 of the price they bought it for. And that's why also the reason why we thought we're gonna be also smart this time. And we went to look around, and we found a really good couch, and the bookshelf is still really good, the table is good. So we are really happy we made the decision to buy most of our stuff secondhand. Like the smaller things, especially the things for in the kitchen, they were a bit more difficult to get, but especially the bigger things were easy to get secondhand. And also the things you're seeing in our bookshelf, the books we are having them for a long time.
It's also quite interesting to look at our book collection. Again, we try to follow rules. I already told you about the rule in the bedroom: no telephones there. With the books, we have a rule that we only keep books there which we have to read,
Yeah.
or which
Inspires us.
inspires us, of course, like
Yeah.
to share with people who visit us as well. So it's quite a nice mix of books. For me personally, ranges from the books that I got inspiration from my study days when I studied economics. One really interesting book is about like population studies, where I got to know also about sustainability on a per capita basis around the world, and the population trends. It's the study of population demography. It's called.
But what is
Yeah.
I think our favorite book to look at together is the name's Hungry Planet, right?
The Hungry
Yeah.
Planet, yeah, because we are so busy with food.
Yeah.
We love to cook food, to share our passion for food, and it's also a book from my study. That's also a coincidence. And in that book, there's a photographer. I forgot her name, but she travels with another friend of hers around the world to capture images of what people are eating in a week.
And next to the books, you're also seeing some white boxes. In those boxes, we mainly keep our working stuff, like the microphones we're using,
Yeah.
just some electronic things we need. So that we keep in those boxes, so it looks
Yeah.
a bit ugly if we
Yeah.
put it not in the box. And then we have one more corner that is more your corner, like the sport corner.
Yeah, that's next to the couch. That's something I also find quite important. Like especially in the morning when you wake up, a session of
Yeah.
yoga. It can range from 15 minutes to an hour, upwards of an hour. I love to do Surya Namaskar every day. I think it's one of the exercises that's like it's a complete exercise in itself. In our living room,
Yeah.
we have quite a lot of space because we
Yeah.
have the couch, and between the couch and the dining table slash work table,
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of space where we can just do our workout with like 2 yoga mats.
Yeah, we like to have these things in the living room, so we get every morning we wake up, we think, oh yeah, let's do some yoga or some meditation.
Yeah.
It's good to see it every day when we are waking up.
Mhm.
And I think we need to mention one more thing, because you saw some shots of our living room, and maybe there is something you miss, and that is our TV. We get sometimes the question when people come over, like, oh, where's your TV? And then we always have to say, well, we don't have it. And I think the younger generation is getting more used to it, to not have a TV. We have our laptops, and we have so many online platforms where you can watch
Right.
programs
Yeah.
and things.
YouTube itself, where we are
Yeah.
streaming, is one of the big ones where you can find some really
Yeah.
interesting stuff.
Yeah.
We try to minimize our costs, of course, so we don't have any Netflix, for example, but we
Yeah.
do have a Dutch platform
Yeah.
called Videoland. Videoland is it
Yeah,
is
but
in
we
Dutch.
were lucky because we could
Yeah.
pay €1
We
a
pay
month.
€1 a month for it. It's a year-long
Yeah.
subscription, and we sometimes watch some series or movies on that. But yeah, I think it's in general our life, like we try to keep it quiet, really quiet. Like we have a music box.
Yeah.
I think you saw it in one of the shots.
A blue one.
A blue one. It's a Bose. Just a speaker. On that we have some nice music. Sometimes, just some relaxing music in the evening or during the day. But yeah, we didn't feel the need to get a TV, and
No.
also, as I talked about the space, like we would rather use the space in a different way, have space for our yoga mats, and we have not that big a house anyway, so our priorities are different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then let's continue to my favorite part of the house.
Yeah.
And that's the garden.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really happy with that, because when we discussed about do we want to live in a house again, or in what house, Amit always is really used to apartments. And that is also, what you said, like I would like to live in an apartment again.
Yeah.
But I would really like to have a garden. Like some apartments, they're having balconies. In Dordrecht, we also had 2 balconies where I could grow some things, but not as much as I can do now. And our garden is quite big compared to the house, because it's like 30 meters square.
33 it is,
even,
yeah.
So it's quite big. And we have a really nice terrace. We put like a picnic table there. We also got secondhand for just 25 euro.
Yeah, it was not
Yeah,
expensive at all.
yeah,
And the second, the division between our neighbor and us, like
yeah,
those panels, those steel panels, we also
yeah.
bought like secondhand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have those nice place to sit. We also have our dustbins outside because we are cooking a lot, and we, especially in summer, we don't like the
Fruit flies.
yeah, we don't like them in the house. So we
Yeah.
try to keep our garbage outside. And yeah, then we have like the whole vegetable garden.
Yeah.
To be honest, now it's not looking in the best state. It's
Yeah.
the end of the summer, and we had a lot of rain the last days. But we're having like a small how is it called? Cos? Is it also
Yeah,
in English?
it's like a greenhouse.
Yeah, a greenhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
space or place
Yeah.
where you can grow some tropical stuff. Like we
Yeah.
had quite a lot of aubergines. Like it's brinjal
Yeah.
or aubergine.
Yeah, and we had
Yeah.
quite some tomatoes and some bell pepper.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, it's the end of season and it's mostly empty now. We put some storage things in there.
Yeah. And what
But-
else? Like on
yeah.
the back side, I think you can see a couple of pumpkins that are growing.
Yeah.
So that is something we are looking forward to in winter to enjoy.
Yeah,
We have kale.
Yeah,
We
a lot
have
of it.
like red beet.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm
we-
looking
yeah,
outside just to see what all do we have.
Yeah.
But we have like, yeah, we have some, I don't know even the English for prei. What is it?
No, that one.
Leek. Is it leek? I think it's leek. I'm not sure about
Yeah.
it. But we have like Chinese cabbage. We
Zucchini.
have salads we also
Yeah.
have. We have
Cucumbers we had like in
cucumbers.
summer.
Yeah.
Now they are over.
Yeah.
We are also giving like workshops here,
Yeah.
like inside, like where with these two tables, like I told you, like we are setting it a bit higher, and then it becomes
Yeah.
kind of a cooking platform. And in groups of 4 to 6 people, we are cooking here, and it's quite interesting. Like in the summer, for example, mostly in the summer, they are picking their own green chilies and
Yeah.
brinjal and some herbs from here and there
Tomatoes.
to bring it from the garden, and we are all
Yeah.
cooking together here inside.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have things like the spinach is still there now, and we still have like green long beans. So we are growing still some things at the moment. It's time to harvest
Yeah.
some things, and yeah, in the winter in Netherlands it will be empty, but then from spring we will
Yeah.
start, having nice vegetables again.
Yeah, and in the spring and summer, like where the picnic table is, there we are having sometimes
Yeah.
game nights. We enjoy it to also just play some board games together. I'm
Yeah.
learning, Daniela, how to play chess for a long
Yeah.
time. So I hope like it's quite difficult for
Yeah.
her. So it's nice to have an outside space, and that I also liked in an apartment. If you have like a balcony area that you can enjoy, here you have a little bit more space. Plus, you have a nice view of your garden.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice place to have, and it's a really nice compromise because I am really apartment person,
Yeah.
and she's really someone who's brought up in a house where mostly the sleeping rooms and are on the second floor. For me, I always find it a hassle. Like I always want things on the same floor. I'm used to it. I'm brought up in apartment. And here we have a compromise because we have got a garden, plus we have everything on the same floor.
Yeah. And there is one more important thing about the garden, and it is also that we are collecting water.
Yeah, we have a rain harvesting drum. It's just a
Yeah.
drum which fills up with water. Now it's full. It rained quite a lot in the last few
Yeah.
weeks, and we use this to water the plants when there's not enough rain. So we save for it. It's like 120 liters, and maybe we'll also try to get one more.
Yeah,
Also
especially
secondhand from the
next summer.
street behind the one that we live in. We could get it from there secondhand. Yeah, that's the outside part.
Yeah, and then let's move to the last, place in our house, and that's the kitchen. And for us,
Yeah.
the most important place of the house.
Right. Yeah. And just before you enter the kitchen, on the left side, you see, a space to store
Yeah,
spices.
yeah. And maybe you're thinking, oh, that's really genius, that idea. We kind of stole it from someone because we liked it so much. I
Yeah.
have to say this.
Just an IKEA shelf. If you go to IKEA and you're missing some screws, then you can usually get it out of this kind of system.
Yeah.
And we saw someone use this for spices, and we thought it would be a nice fit at our home. And everything is You have a nice overview of all the spices that you're having, and it's really easy to pick up like spices when you need, like for a workshop or when we are cooking for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the rest of our kitchen, it was a small kitchen that was already there when we got this apartment. But we made the kitchen a little bit bigger because we are cooking a lot. We were two
Yeah.
people mostly in the kitchen. So we made it a little bit bigger so we got more space to
Yeah.
store our stuff.
I think you guys can also
Yeah.
recognize it from the previous two videos and the coming videos where Daniela has promised me the next one she's going to make.
Yeah.
It's I cannot say yet like what we are going to make,
No.
but next week we are coming up with a video where she will be cooking for the first time. So keep
Yeah.
an eye on that. Let's go ahead
Yeah.
with the kitchen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's her territory, so I'll let her talk about it
Yeah, we
more.
cook a lot of times together, but I am more the person who is placing everything
Yeah.
at a specific place. And we are having one part where we have a microwave, like it's a combo. It's also an
Combi.
oven.
Yeah.
We are really happy with that because a lot of times we are like for lunch we are eating leftovers and we can warm it up. And we have there also some place where we are having some different kind of pans, but also places where we are just things we are using in the kitchen. Above on the kitchen we are having two electric cooking plates.
Yeah.
A lot of times people are asking us, oh, you're cooking so much, you're just using two cooking plates.
Yeah.
But in the Indian kitchen, you really don't need that much.
No.
Mostly of the time we have one for a curry and one to warm up some rice. And
Yeah.
then on top of it, next to the cooking plate, we are having some more utensils we are using for
Yeah.
cooking. We have a little bit more than we
Yeah.
would need for ourselves, but that is because of the cooking workshops we are giving here.
Yeah.
So we need a little bit more of everything.
And we have a blender that you
yeah.
can also see.
Yeah.
That's one of the primary requirements in the Indian
Yeah.
kitchen to make different kind of chutneys. Some curries, creamy curries, we are using the blender as well to blend like tomato paste, to make cashew paste, for
Yeah.
example, to make creamy curries.
But one nice thing to mention is also normally we would put a water cooker next to our blender.
Yeah.
Like we had that in Dordrecht and we were thinking of doing that again. But then we realized that in India we were warming up our water on the stove.
My parents never
Yeah.
had a water cooker, and I think the people who come from India, I think they would relate to that. A lot of some Indian households do have it, but in India it's not like. Especially, I never saw it in one of my friends' houses, or my parents never got one. They always warmed up water on the gas, or we do it on the induction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we are not having in the kitchen now. And then we have a lot of storage place for the beans we are having, for the lentils we are having, for some flour, different kind of flour we are using.
Yeah. So in the Indian kitchen, like a lot of people, they ask us when we say we eat vegan and mostly Indian food. They are really curious, what do you exactly eat? I had a Chinese friend that I was talking to like a couple of weeks back, and in China, like of course they have different eating habits. So he was curious about where do I get my protein from, and that's why we also made the first video on a lentil, like the green split lentil.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we get it from. So we have different kind of lentils. They are like tens and maybe even 100 different types of lentils in the world. In India, for sure, there majority of them can be found, and we try to also have our voorraadkast, it's called in Dutch, but it's like
a storage
space. Sometimes I also mix up like words in Dutch and English. Filled with lentils, grains, rice, brown rice, and sometimes we also have some easy stuff which we can pick up, like when we don't have time to let everything soak in water overnight.
Then especially the chickpeas we're having also out of can. If we don't have that much time, we can use that.
But we try to avoid that. That's more emergency ration it is for us.
Yeah, and we're having one cabinet in the kitchen. Do you say cabinet? I think you do.
Cabinet.
And there we keep our plates and glasses and bowls to eat from. But also that we try to minimize. We have a little bit more again for a cooking workshop,
Yeah.
but not as much as we had before in Dordrecht.
Yeah.
What else do we have in the kitchen? Yeah, we just have some cleaning stuff there, and we are
Mostly
having
food items.
Yeah, I think it's mostly food. Like we have
Yeah.
a lot of storage. We have one cabinet where we keep our vitamins we're taking, like vitamin D and vitamin B12.
Really important, especially in
Yeah.
winter days, I think.
Yeah, some other things we're having is like some oatmeal, some soya milk we're drinking. We always have that in storage. We are having different kind of teas. We are both not drinking coffee. So we didn't buy a coffee machine because we felt like, we are not drinking it, so why should we have it?
Yeah.
If people come over, we can always make some tea, even also Indian tea, the chai.
Yeah. Or when it's summer, I
yeah.
always offer them nimbu pani. That's lemon water with a little bit of salt. We usually use black salt in it. So yeah, we can always, we try to just, do things a bit, I don't know, I would not say differently, but
it's just we find it important.
not the standard way.
Yeah, we find it important that we do what feels good for us. And before in Dordrecht, we bought a coffee machine. Now we didn't buy it; we got it from someone.
Also got it for someone.
But we had to buy the coffee every time because people came over. But it was always standing in the way for us because we are cooking a lot, and we always felt like, we are not using this space good because we don't drink coffee. So we, thought now we don't buy it.
Yeah.
And the last thing in the kitchen is the fridge, also secondhand.
Yeah.
A big one. We cook a lot, so we like to have a big one with also a freezer part in there.
And luckily, again, this is secondhand, but we are lucky that the energy label is one of the highest. It's energy label A, so it's not using a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Plus, it's the right size for us. Like as we mentioned, we also give cooking workshops here. We also try to freeze stuff.
Yeah.
Although not food for a long time, but sometimes we do have some stuff in the freezer that is like, for example, we are using deep freeze spinach, deep freeze green peas, for example, are really they're also quite cheaper than the normal ones to have, and it's easy to just use in dishes. So that's it. Like, I think that was we came to the end. It became like quite a long video, but I think it gave you guys a really good insight into our way of living, and we are quite interested what you think of it. So please do comment. Let us know. You can also send us an email. Our email is heygroentje@gmail.com. heygroentje@nl is our website where we also have lifestyle vlogs. We have recipes there. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and like and share it with your friends. And we'll see you another video.
At my first cooking video.
Our first cooking video, and hopefully more videos to come.